Welcome to Jazz Time. Jazz Time is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click the link in the description below to buy it at jazztime.com. Today, I'll be reviewing the Rolex Daytona Cosmograph reference 126508 green dial. It's actually a bright green and golden dial in yellow gold. I will tell you a little bit about the Daytona history, then I'll tell you where this watch stands in the lineup of similar Daytonas, as well as tell you a little bit about the market prices for this watch. Then I'll tell you about the case, bezel, dial, bracelet movement. Finally, I will try it on and give you my thoughts, so let's get started with that history of the Daytona. The Daytona came out approximately 1953, and it's always been a chronograph. And so, therefore, it has been around for approximately 70 years now. It is one of the top models that Rolex makes. It falls under the sports category or the professional line, and it's probably Rolex's most complicated sports watch that they make, as well as their most prestigious. Why do I say prestigious? Because they make their most variations of the Daytona, and they also put the most precious materials in it. And it's also the watch that sells the most above retail. So there you have it. That's a little bit about the history. Of course, there's many different variations of the Daytona. I'd probably say at least a couple of hundred at this point. I can't go into all of those with you, but this basically is the latest one. This is reference 126508. It's the current model, and this is the green dial, and it's the most special of all of them. Okay, and with that said, it is also, I should mention, the successor of the old reference, which is the 116508. Green dial, also at the time, kind of known as the John Mayer dial. That's right, yeah. There was a reference, 116508, produced approximately 2015 to approximately 2023, something like that, somewhere in that range. Maybe even earlier, 2013, 2014, until 2023. That older version was also in a green dial, and it was an all-green dial, including the subdials. The new version, which is what you're looking at here, has a green dial, but also with a champagne subdial. Okay, so let's move on to the next section, where does this watch stand in the lineup of other similar Daytonas? Okay, well, Daytonas do have many different variations. They make it on precious metals, yellow gold, rose gold, white gold, even platinum. They also made it in just stainless steel, so they make stainless steel and gold, which is just yellow gold and steel. And they also make a different bracelet variations. They make tons of different variations, hundreds, like I said. The variation we are going to focus on today, though, is the yellow gold version, which is what you're looking at right here. So in yellow gold, if you want the bracelet, that means that it is a metal bracelet on it. Then it will have a gold bezel that goes around it. If you choose it with an oyster bracelet or a rubber bracelet, it has a ceramic bezel that goes with it. Okay, and with that said, we're just going to focus on the yellow gold Daytona with the gold bracelet, the one that's right here. And in this category, there are about 7 or 8 models that you can choose from, and all of them, actually there's 7 models that are currently, as of 2025, that you can choose from, and there are black, white, champagne, green. That's it. Those are the colors. Of course, there are some minor variations among them in terms of hour markers, but that's basically it. Black, white, champagne, or the new release, which is, as of 2025 April, this new release with the green dial. Okay, I told you I was going to tell you a little bit about the market prices and the market of this watch in particular. The original John Mayer, they call it the John Mayer because I guess he wore it or he mentioned it, something like that. Something that he had the original 116508, which was the older version of the predecessor to this one, and he just linked in with the watch or something. It's not like they did it for him or he did anything, they just got linked into the watch somehow. So that watch was produced for about 10 years or so, and then it was discontinued in 2023, and the internet went crazy. The watch started skyrocketing. I think actually even they discontinued earlier than that, maybe 2022, I forgot, 23, something around there, you understand. And then the watch really went skyrocketing, and it was very hard to get, and so people thought that they could no longer get it in a green dial. Well, fast forward 2 years or so, in 2025, Rolex in April decided to release the new color, and the new color is basically the same as before, except the green it's the same green, but it has these subtle gold dials, which actually, in my opinion, I think it looks much better than the previous generation. The previous generation was just a tad too much green. It was all green. The whole dial was green. There was no contrast whatsoever. It did not look that great, and so now this one updated, if you ask me, it's a much better version than just the plain green dial. Let's talk about it for a bit. Now, the retail price on this watch is around $48,000 after tax and everything. It'll be around the low 50s. But you can't get this at an authorized dealer unless you have a massive spend history. So you're probably just going to be looking at the gray market in the 80s or 90s. As of 2025, mid-2025, we're going at the rate in the low 90s. But that might come down over time just because since most watches do come down after they're released. So it might hover somewhere around the mid-80s. Who knows? And I don't think it's going anywhere much lower than that because the old John Mayer was moving somewhere around the 70s, 80s, depending on the condition and stuff for 4 or 5 years almost. It would almost make sense that the newer version would be more expensive than that. So therefore, 80s or 90s. Okay, so anyways, that's a little bit about where this watch stands in the lineup and also about the market. So let's actually talk about the watch itself, starting with that case. The case is a yellow gold. That's no surprise. You can see that the color and everything, the case is a little bit different than the previous generation. I was told that the lugs are a little bit thinner and that they're also the same size. On the previous generation, I was told that one lug is a little bit larger than the other. I think the left lug, I'm not quite sure. To me, it looked very similar. It's a very small, less than a millimeter difference. But anyways, it used an Oyster case. It's yellow gold. It's 40 millimeters, so it's not super thick around. I'd probably say about 12 millimeters or so. It's a perfect thickness. Actually, to me, Daytona has the perfect proportions ever. Anyways, that's really the case. Let's move on to the bezel. The bezel is an all gold. Now, they don't do this yellow gold with anything except an all gold bezel. You can't get a ceramic bezel on this. So this is all it is, but it actually looks perfect just the way this is. It makes the watch have a very uniform look, and the gold bezel just really, it looks nice on it. Okay, and it's unchanged from the previous generation. I might as well add that. Here is what has changed, though. So I told you the case changed a little bit from the previous generation. The bezel has not. The dial very much has changed. Yes, the old one was all green. This one, we have the gold subdials. They actually call this a bright green and golden dial subdial. It doesn't look that bright green to me. When I'm taking photos as well as looking outside, it looked green, but indoors and the lighting, it's a little bit low. It actually looked kind of black. So personally, I would not consider this a very bright green. It is a very beautiful green, but not that bright. But what is different between this and the previous generation? If you look at the hour markers, they're thinner and longer, which makes it look a little bit more vintage. The track that goes around the subdial is also thinner, giving it a more vintage look or a more streamlined look that coincides very well with the hour markers and the hands being a little bit thinner. The previous generation, the hour markers and the hands were a little bit fatter, and it made the watch look, to be honest, a little bit clumsy with the subdials also being a little bit bigger. To be honest, yeah, clumsy is the right word. Now that they've fixed all that, now the watch really looks perfect. The subdials are, in my opinion, with this contrast, it really makes the watch pop more than any other dial color. I can say that the yellow gold really definitely is one of the best that they do. And the market agrees. It's selling way above retail. Right? But you can buy it at jazztime.com simply by clicking the link in the description below, and that is the lowest price anywhere online. Alright, so that is the dial, and of course the sub counters. What do you call those? Pushers. Start, stop at the top, and reset at the bottom. Okay, what else should I say about this? Of course, it has luminescence on the dial, which they call the chroma light display, which actually is good because you can read the watch at night. And that's about it. Let's look at the bracelet. The bracelet for the yellow gold only comes with an Oyster bracelet. There is no Jubilee. If you want it with a rubber strap, then it's going to come with a ceramic bezel. But on this, it has a gold bracelet, and the gold bracelet actually is more or less unchanged from the previous generation. I think it's actually unchanged at all. It does have the comfort extension, which is a very good thing, but because it allows you to change the watch about 5 millimeters in the event that your hand expands or contracts, whichever all it does. even though we might not notice it. All right, that's the bracelet, and let's talk about the movement here. Now, the movement cannot be seen on this one. It is a movement 4131. The power reserve is upped from the previous generation. It's 72 hours, which is, I believe, the old one was 48. But in this one, they've improved it, and thank goodness. But what I can say that is if you compare this, for example, to the the platinum Daytona, which has the gold rotor, it is the same movement except the rotor on this one, yes, you can see, is covered. You can't see it. It has a gold case back, but the rotor itself is not gold. I believe it is just steel. But you can't see it anyways, and having the back as all gold is not a bad thing. It's actually a very beautiful movement, so that's okay. Anyways, now let's try this on and give you my thoughts. Now, I am 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, and I have a 7.5-inch wrist. Here are my thoughts. This is my favorite gold Daytona. I think I will not be surprised by any other because of the green dial. I can't imagine what other dial they could put on gold, yellow gold, to make it look any better. So definitely it is my favorite one. Already it is trading well above retail, around 90,000 or so, almost double retail. And it's going to do that for a very long time. It's going to be a very difficult dial to get. It's a very beautiful dial. It's the best looking dial that they have. And the Daytona is just a streamlined fit. It feels perfect. There's nothing really you can do or say bad about it. It's a premier line. I mean, I'm not sure what else I could say. How else I could design a better watch? Maybe put a date on it? Maybe? That might be helpful. To be honest, I would like to see that someday out of Daytona. Sure, maybe they'll do that someday, but for right now, this is the best one on the market. So I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up, and if you want to buy this at the lowest price anywhere online, click the link in the description below to buy it at jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.